Hi beautiful members, and welcome to the island of Corfu in Greece. Today we're working out in this cozy, quiet, extra hot location. So you might notice that I'll be sweating a little bit more than usual, but it's good for the body, good for the system, so I'm all up for it. In today's session, we will be focusing on hip internal and external rotation. This class will be very supportive to all of my dancers if you're working on all of those zigzaggy leg moves. But if you're not a dancer, it will be supportive for you as well, because essentially that's our hip health, and not just short term, but also long term. For all of you guys, pay attention to how your hip respond to all of these moves, and at any point, and I will be showing all the modifications, so you'll have a chance to step back and work with your body versus going against it, okay? We don't need any equipment, just our bodies. And so when you guys are ready, lay down on your back, get comfortable for a moment. I might be fighting some bugs here and there. The bees are very aggressive here, very curious. Let's squeeze our knees into the chest when you're ready. Allow your low back to round a bit, and then at your own tempo and at your own range, start circling your hips around. So we squeeze them into the chest, we abduct, we guide them away from the chest, going slightly past our hip bone, and then bringing the legs together using our adductors, and then squeezing the knees back in. Let's go for 3. You can go more passive using your hands and possibly exploring the range here, or you can make it more active and stay on the shallow end. Do what works for you. We're just warming up the hips. Let's go in the opposite direction. Knees move away from the chest, legs come apart, pull them into the armpits, release back. Let's go for 3. When the legs travel out, guys, your low back is on the floor, and you should feel your core doing that stability work too. Last one. 1. Good. Let's start with our right hip. So we're gonna find our right hand, place it on the left quad, and I want you to check that your knees over your hip bone versus being far out there. Your low back is neutral on the ground. We're not imprinting it aggressively, and your abdominal area is staying flat. We're gonna lightly press into that leg, I would say 20-30% max. So again, it's not aggressive, but just by pressing, you should feel your abdominal area coming on and supporting your work. From here, I want you to look at your right knee and align it with your right hip. So your entire femur, your thigh bone, is going to be over your right hip bone. And from there, we're gonna start our slow, gentle rotation. You're gonna rotate that right hip outward. When you do so, there's a temptation here to move the leg out to the side. We're going to avoid that for now. So your leg, your kneecap is staying over your hip bone. And then you're gonna rotate that right hip inward, and once again, your kneecap is staying over your hip bone. Let's go for 8. This can be more flowy and gentle, or you can really go exploring the end ranges of your rotation. Just again, be respectful to your body. Should feel like muscle work, not joint terrorism. Keep going. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Good. Let's switch. Left hand on your right quad. Align your left kneecap over your left hip bone. And now don't let that thigh bone move to the side. You can lift your right foot a little bit higher just so that leg, that foot can go under. 3. Holding that 90-degree angle. 4. Pressing into the right quad. 5. 6. Inhaling external. Inhaling internal. 7. And 8. Good. Take a little bit of momentum, squeeze your knees into the chest, and extend them out as you come up, okay? Let's start with our left hip. We're going to lean slightly back to modify, hands to the floor, and both of your legs can bend at any point. Otherwise, we're using our hip flexors, using our core to stabilize. Let's bring our left leg just a tiny bit off the floor, and let's start exploring our rotation with a straight leg. Again, a way to modify is to create a micro bend, maybe sit up straighter, maybe use the hands. Let's go for 8, 7, frying our chicken. This is your stick, you have your chicken, your quad is your chicken, your meat. You're trying to fry it from all the sides, 360. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Good. Now the same leg is going to rotate out when we bring it to the side. We don't go super far. And then you're going to start internally rotating as you guide it in. going external as we abduct, going internal as we adduct. The only thing I want you guys to pay attention to is your pelvis. You're not kind of rocking side to side like this. You want to keep your pelvis more or less neutral. External abduct, inward adduct. I lost my count. I think this is 4. Let's go 4 more. 5, 6, 7. Yes, I'm feeling my hip. You're not alone. 8. Good. Take an inhale, sit up straight. Think of your pelvis tilting forward. Take an exhale, lean it back. Long back body, long front body, so not rounding. Use the hands if needed. Let's go right leg, just hovering, and we go external, internal. 8, 7, 6, 5. Abdominal area is not puffing out. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go abducting with external rotation, adducting with internal rotation. Out and in, a fairly flowy movement, and we're not obsessing over height. Keeping the leg low. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good job. Come up, take an inhale, bend your legs, lean forward towards them, tuck the chin. Your whole back body to round. Take an inhale, take an exhale once. From here, slowly keeping the back rounded, let's melt all the way back down. I'm just going to scoop forward so I land on the mat. Good. Hands at the back of the head. Both knees come over our hip bones. Take an inhale, take an exhale, come up. If you want to avoid the upper crunch, by all means, stay down. That's a way to make it a little bit easier. Now, your thigh bones are once again staying over your hip bones. Let's go both legs in and then both legs out. And you're going to cross first, let's say the right leg over, and then the next rep, you're going to have your left leg crossing over, but keeping our thigh bones in one spot, external. Let's go for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Now bring your big toes together, heels apart, so you're pointing your feet. Take your knees outside of your hip bones. Press your big toes together. If you're not feeling the push, if your feet keep sliding up and down, you can also try flexing and pressing your heels together. I'll leave that up to you. From here, without moving pretty much at all, you're going to squeeze your external rotation and try to bring your knees further apart. Heels or your big toes stay together, pressing into one another. Let's go, pulsing out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now your knees are going to come together, feet will go apart. Be careful with this one. On the exhale, instead of thinking of pushing in, think of just creating a little bit more depth of that internal rotation as your feet come further apart. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Neutral. Squeeze your knees into your chest. Take a little bit of momentum. Start shooting your legs out as you come up back into your seated position. From here, we're going to bring our elbows down, lean back. You can always bend your legs, either just the working one or both. You decide, kind of play around with both. From here, we're going to rotate our hip, left hip, inward, take it across, and then you're going to start rotating it outward as you take it outside of your shoulder, outside of your body. The only thing, guys, is you don't want your pelvis circling around with the leg. I want you to look at your pubic bone, your two hip bones, and they're staying in the exact same position. Let's go. Leg in. So you will start with your leg bent, pulling it to the opposite shoulder, starting that external rotation, reaching towards the left shoulder, and then slowly guiding the leg out. It's a lot of load on that hip here. Again, keep the leg bent, go slow, decrease the range if needed. Otherwise, leg is straight. We go inward, external, outward, inward, to the right, external, to the outside. Let's keep going. 3, keep watching your pubic bone, your 2 hip bones. They're trying to stay as neutral as possible. 4 more. 3 more. Go away, and 2 more. Sorry guys, there's a bee trying to eat me. Last one. In and out. Good job. Take an inhale. Again, stabilize your pelvis. Let's go switching. Right hip in, all the way to the chest, all the way out. Release. I am just flexing my foot so I don't bump into those boxes. You can keep your foot pointed the whole time. Let's go 3, out, down, release. It is a hard movement. It looks like I'm not doing anything, but you might feel a really challenging load on your core, on your hips, on your quads. You might even start feeling it in your back if there's a lot of instability in your pelvis and your core is not trying to work as hard as it should be. If that's the case, please modify. Start with smaller circles. You can even place your hand underneath the pelvis there, helping it stabilize for the time being. But do feel that your midsection is working. Last circle for me. Let's go in, out, release. Good. Take it in. We're not done. Take an inhale, take an exhale. Now I'm going to reverse. So be careful here. Again, keyword. You're going to start rotating inward as you go to the side. And then halfway through, you're going to rotate out and cross the body. So if it's my left leg, I'm going to the right. I hold my external rotation until the end, until I'm at floor level. And then I go inward, bring it over to the side. Notice how it first goes parallel to the floor. Then I fight for that internal rotation and abduction. It's really limited. And then go outward, cross the body until the end, until you're at ground level. Let's go for 3. In, external, release. 4, external, release. 4 more. We can do it. In, external. Hold that external as you cross. See how much harder this one is. External, down. 2 more. We can do it. If it's becoming absolutely yucky on your back, please don't keep going. Come down to the floor and try working it here. Your leg will be higher, but you're gonna have way more control of that hip. Let's go one last one. In, up, external, down. Good. Take an inhale. You can do it. Take an exhale. Let's go switching. So we go inward with our right hip. We go over to the side, we lift it, fighting for that inward rotation, and then we go outward as we cross and lower down. Again, in at the bottom, hold it in, outward, release. Keep going. 3, out, and 4. The thing you don't want to do here is arch to the back like this. If that happens again, please go down to the floor. I'm messing it up. Let's keep going. 4 more. In, up, out, 3, 2, last one. Fight, 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 fight for the depth of rotation, and release. Good. Squeeze your knees into your chest, come down into your back, pull your legs into your collarbones, and then rock side to side. Take an inhale, take an exhale. Good. We're going to take good momentum. Let's cross our right leg over left. Come up, place both hands down, and then take 2 steps back, arriving into our tabletop. Just fighting some insects. Knees underneath the hip bones, wrists underneath the shoulders. We're going to start with working our hip mobility, also adding a little bit of thoracic rotation.